Steve Assad from Ancient Gamers here with another quick tutorial on the Atavism modular customization system. Today, we're going to go over how to swap your skin meshes on some previously cut apart skins. As always, just remember we have our tutorials and courses over on Ancient Gamers. Most of them are free, or all should be free, and you can go over the modular customization system and on all of the parts within this system throughout this curriculum. And this will provide you direct access to anything that you might potentially need. And I try to keep up the documentation here as I go along. So today we're going to work with the IDA fiber parts that we have previously cut apart in a previous scene, and we're going to rebuild a character, and we're going to see how to utilize the skin system to rebuild this character. So if you haven't watched the video already, go ahead and watch that video on how we took these parts and we utilized the system to cut it apart and prepare it for atavism so that we can gain access to all of these parts that are on this character. And if we really wanted to put the skirt on this guy, we could. And if we really wanted to take all of his clothes off of him and put them on her, we could go ahead and do so as well, as long as her skeleton is properly the right shape. That is a requirement. I am working on a system that works with Unity humanoids, but it is not fully there yet. And right now it's just making things go at a 90-degree angle. It is mounting them, but it's making them go at 90s. So what we're going to do is you can see that we've got some characters in here, and in our previous video what we did is these are the all part characters, and we separated them out into the individual meshes. And so if we go into the folders where we did this, we can see that we have a series of folders that these characters are all, I don't know if I can ever find them, Ida Faber. And then we have our skinned meshes. We have the meshes, the various meshes that are here that are not don't have any materials on them. And then we have our materialed meshes and weird little toe meshes. And we also have our skinned meshes. So these skinned meshes are what we're going to be working with. And what we want to find is we want to either assemble a body from a previously non-assembled body, or we want to um, find a body that has everything that we need in it. So for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and this is the K-pop Mina, so we're going to use K-pop Mina here, and we're going to go ahead and start the process. So what we're going to use is we're going to use her. I'm going to delete everything out of her. We don't need any of this stuff in there. We need her skeleton and the prefab for everything that's in there. And that's it. That's all we need. So everything else we're going to stick into there from the stuff that we've pulled out. So we're going to find where's her body? Does we have there's a torso, there's an arms, do we have hands? There's hands. So let's do it with that, and we'll get all of that. And we'll stick them in here. So now you can see that we have that. We have some feet, legs, and let's put her head back into place. And so we don't have to deal with any nudity. Do we have yep, there's that. There we go. Oh, we don't want the no bones. We want the shoes on the shirt. Okay, so now we have a shoes, shirt, and we're going to put on some, hey, look, we have bra, panties. There we go. That's what I'm going to put on. Remember, I like to be as naked as possible so that we can ensure that our characters get equipped out properly. So SKMina, we'll deal with that later in a minute. Because we don't have anything else, right? Those are all the torso parts we could use. It is the head one. Okay. Let's throw some hair in there. Sensor. Okay. Earrings. So at this point, we could put the hair in if we wanted or not. We're going to drag in, so in the Tools menu, you're going to go to Ancient Gamers, Skinned Mesh Remapper, and it's going to bring up this little tool here. And you're going to drag the model you're wanting into here. You're going to highlight all of the models and select sources. And you're going to remap. And this will set up the system so that they are all attached to this skeleton. So if you click play, this character will animate at this point once we put the runtime animator in, and she should be. And she took off running because she has apply root motion turned on. So let's turn her off. And then we'll go back to our scene, and she's not animating. Why is she not animating? Did I break something last night when I did this? Remapped using humanoid avatars. I'll do that again. We'll pull on the full body. Shirt. Bra. Panties, laces. Head. So it might help if I bring in the right items. So I forgot. I grabbed the wrong items. You need the SMRs. So let's grab those items. Let's go farther. Let's go arms, hands. And you'll notice something here. These items are somewhere else. The main body is here. Those are here. Here. So this needs to be set to 0. 0. And then they'll be right where they're supposed to be. So that is the location. It needs to be at 0, 0. And then these will spawn inside of 0, 0. And so now we have hips. Let's grab in there. We'll make this one a little bigger. Legs. Lower chest. Upper chest. And head. Now the lingerie. She's got no feet, right? She's got feet. Yep. Okay, so everything is here. So now we'll select all these sources again. And we'll make sure that we've got the right character in here. And we'll remap. And now we should be able to click play. And she's animating. So she is properly broken up as we want her to be as individual parts, and so we could use her within the modular system, and we could disable this character at this point, and you can see her eyes are back where they weren't before. So all of this is set up ready. So now, what if you wanted to take those other parts? So again, we talked about that, right? We talked about this isn't just about bringing her back in. So we have all of her parts in, and let's say we want to rebuild the guy and all of his parts. So let's see what we have on him. Use the right ones, SMRs. And look, we got jackets, pants. Let's drag those in here. Okay, so now I don't know that this will work because the mesh is different, but let's find out. Let's find out. Select sources, remap. Oh, look at that. It remapped something, did something. It's still a little large. I wonder if you could scale that. That might be the right thing, but then you might be messing with bones and things. Who knows? We'll see. If we clicked play, it would animate properly because it is attached to her skeleton. And you can see that she is now geared out in that guy's gear. So the system does any missing bones, it automatically will detect. So if there is a bone that is inside of the skeleton that you are moving from and to, that it doesn't exist, then it will automatically look at the bone attachments and go, oh, I see that there is an extra bone in the head on the skeleton I'm moving from, and it doesn't exist. So I'm going to create a virtual bone where it's supposed to be and then attach everything there, and then we'll move on. So it works really well and creates the system. But what it doesn't work well on is any meshes that might be deformed. So you would have to make sure that the meshes are as close as possible to the original skeleton. Otherwise, they'll do exactly what's going on here. So if we brought in a different character, so like Ida Faber's Techwear Girls, for example, uh, she is more skinned closer to the original body, and you can see that if I turn off all of the ones that we've done here, that anything that she wears will work almost perfectly. So all of these items from her body, we can pull those in, and you can see they just pop in right where they're supposed to be. And then her hair. And then if we select those, they'll attach to Mina, and then we can turn everything back on, and Mina will be animated with some new hair that she didn't have before. So this is how you can very quickly and easily start moving some characters around, and it looks like maybe one of the bones is off. So you would want to probably play with that attachment. That one looks like it is incorrect. Um, Not all items will be proper, so but you could go into the bone and flip that in the character, and then it would be available. And then so you can see that this body and the Techwear Girls has so many more parts, and you can break it down. So not all of the parts will be individual. She's got 26 different parts here. Will work, but you can, for the most part, bring almost anything over. And you can see here's all the pants, and tops, and shoes, and if we brought all of those over and into Mina, it's safe to rerun that multiple times. You don't have to worry about it. And then she's got all of Ida Faber's Techwear Girls on her. And she is still modular. And if we click play, all of those items will animate properly. And this one, I believe, has morph shapes. So let's see. Yep, you can see that there are a bunch of various items here. And if we initialize these morph shapes again, because we've changed body parts and items on the part, so that we'll go through any of these items that are here now. And so now those are items, are all the ones that are on here. Then you can see that we could access 0 there, 0 there. Yeah, none of these parts have any morph shapes. That is a overview on how you would utilize the split apart skin mesh renderers to reassemble them inside of a character. So what if you wanted to use this for an equipment display? So the easiest way to do this for equipment display is to go in and find a display that's already there. So we'll find one that's already present, and I'll show you what we do. So on the character, we have a setting that we need to set, and that is over here. On skinned. We need to make sure that this modular bones model swapping is checked. You do not have to have these check marked or anything in here, but it helps the system to determine what you have if you do. So you could just put your head part into the head, default head. You could put your torso, your hips, etc. into the existing parts, the arms, so on, and just repeat that process. This is the most important part, is that the modular boned model swapping is enabled. And then on your equipment display for your character, female, gender, if this is specifically the character that we're working on, you could come in here and say human, any, male, female. And so this would be human race, any class, gender of male, gender of female. And this is the item that we're going to add in, is this boot item that we're working with. So we find this boot item. So shoes right here, SMR. And this goes into the game object. We're going to remove this, and we're going to remove this because we're not going to disable anything. We're not going to disable any modular parts. And so down here at the bottom, this is enable boned modular equipment. Check mark that. And once you do that and equip this item inside of Atavism, the system will automatically create a replacement item for this. The replacement items are set up to be are designed to be set up inside of the resources folder, and there should be a skinned replacement items folder in here. And in here is where you will create all of your skinned items replacements. And so this is only if you want to replace skin items. So if I wanted to replace Mina's head with the survival girl's head, this is how you would do it. If it's a gear item, you don't use this. You just use an equipment display. This is what this is the only thing that you do for a skin item. You still have to do an equipment display, but this at this point becomes your replacement item. You put your head here and the head's material here. If there is no material here, it uses the existing material that is on the existing head that is in there. So if it doesn't have a material here, then the item that is being replaced will utilize the material that is on the item that is already present in the scene. So that material would then replace this. So if you have a material here and then you spawn a head item inside of here, then it will automatically create the head item inside of the scene with this material attached, and then when you remove it, it will remove that head item. So again, this is only for working on replacing your skinned items. So don't use this for replacing your gears. Your gears are done through your equipment display as described inside of the scene. So if you, again, we'll go over that real quick. Go back to the mage and R2. And so at the bottom here, we're going to enable the bone modular equipment. Here, we're going to drag in our skinned mesh renderer item that we have prepared based upon our previous videos into this scene and to this object. This is then going to be enabled on the modular bone model swapping here. And if you want to disable parts within the equipment display, then you will have to fill these out here. Otherwise, if you do not fill these out, it will not disable these parts, and it'll just come in as a spawned item over the top of your character like it is here. Other than that, I think that is all of the items that are to be covered today in this session. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.